Raiders, are you having trouble making it through the game? Are you having problems progressing? Are you not up to stage 20, Fire Knight 20, Dragons 20, Ice Golems 20? If you're not, then you need to use these champions that do shared damage. They are very strong, along with one that does the AoE res. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about which champions you need to use to progress further in the game, and it's very easy to do. We're not talking about legendaries. We're not talking about Martyr. We're not going to talk about Bad L. People who can, of course, carry your account and make you go further. We're going to be talking about epics. We're going to be talking about rares, and we're even going to be talking about an uncommon. So let's get right into it. So we have, for epics, we have Jarang, we have Azana, we have Rear Guard Sergeant, a new dwarf female that just came out. We have Skullcrusher, which everybody knows Skullcrusher. We have Elder as a rare. We have Seducer as a rare. And we even have Ad Monitor as an uncommon Knight's Revenant. So let's jump into them. So my first one to pick here is Jarang. He's not my favorite because he has a 2-turn on a 4-turn cooldown. The rest of them do a 2-turn on a 3-turn cooldown, which is much more reliable for your team to stay alive and get you further in content and progress. Now Jarang does bring a lot more to the table than just this if you want to use him for the clan boss for an attack down. He does a skill 1 that does a 50% attack down, which is, you got to have that on the clan boss to progress, to do damage. So he could be there for your clan boss team. Now what we're really looking at to progress in dungeons wise for Dragons, Fire Knight, Ice Golems, and all the keeps is the shared damage of 50%. That means that whenever your ally gets hit, they're going to take 50% of that damage, which is huge, which will help you get through anything in game. And I'm going to show you, because I've shown you on plenty of other videos as well. I've shown you Azana, I've shown you Seducer doing it. So we'll go over all this. So basically, Jarang does it and increases your defense by 60% as well, but 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. So for the clan boss, he's great. So if you're going to double up and use him for clan boss as well as progression, then sure, go ahead and use this guy. All these people you don't even have to take to 60. You can take to 50 and try them out first, but make sure you try them out well. Make sure that you gear them out defensively. Get them high HP, get them high defense, get them high speed, whatever you need to do to keep taking turns and protect your allies. Or you can have them as the slowest person on your team. That way when they proc this ally protection, your other guys don't go right after and drop it off the turn. So if you do make the rest of your team fast and then make these just under, that way if Azana is the last person to go, or Jarang does the ally protect to 50%, then your team isn't going right away. Normally then the enemy's going because they're the last person that just went on your team. That way it will be there for 2 good turns. So anyways, so now we have ally protect, which is going to save everybody. So let's go into the next one. Azana. You've seen my videos of Azana going through Fire Knights 20, going through Dragons 20, and carrying all rares. She is one of the best out there for doing this. Now she has an AoE on her skill 1. She also has an AoE on her skill 3, which does 50% decreased attack, which again saves your team. You're decreasing the attack on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown once you have her skilled out. Now this one does take books, but she is worth it. She also has the ally protect for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown once skilled out, and does an HP shield on herself. You cannot beat Azana. You could also equip her with artifacts that do stun, provoke. You could do a lot of things with her since she has AoE on her skill 1 and have fun with it. Now let's go over to a new one that's almost like her. Azana's Force. This new Rear Guard Sergeant is a dwarf female. She's Force as well. I wish she was Spirit. I wish she was Magic just to give us a little more options, but she's not. She's Force. But she does all her damage based on defense, which is very cool. And she does some incredible things which will carry your team through anything in game. Just really good job. She really will. So she does a decrease defense on her skill 1 of 60%, which is really good. She does an AoE on her skill 2, which decreases the attack of the enemy by 50%. Again, just like Azana, and heals herself a little bit on a 3-turn cooldown. So almost exactly the same thing as Azana, so I wish she really wasn't Force. And then she also does the ally protect on a 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns of 50% and continuous heals of 15%. She is crazy. This girl is really good. If you're not running in-game, if you're running in-game and it's sketchy, then get these people, level them up, and use them because they will save your DPS. You can even go more DPS heavy. You'll just have to gauge it, but you really could. You could do it so well that you could do a Azana and then 4 super DPS at in-game and just run through Dragons 20 no problem. It wouldn't be a problem. She'd keep you alive. So let's go on to another one. Skullcrusher. Everybody knows Skullcrusher. He is the counterattack champion along with Martyr and Valkyrie, but he's an epic, right? So he's the only one, the other one that we can get. A lot of people have him. Does the shared ally protection at 50%. Gives counterattack to everybody else but himself. and then that's really all he brings to the table. But it is enough because it's a 2-turn for a 3-turn cooldown. As long as you can keep him alive along with everybody else, build him tanky, you're good to go. So he will keep your team alive as well. Everybody knows Skullcrusher. He has been around forever. I've always wanted a Skullcrusher, just like everybody else. If they don't have counterattack, you want it. So we have Seducer. Seducer is a rare void. Mr. Abs himself. You've seen him everywhere. You've seen me do a lot of videos on him. I know you have. So he did. We did an all rare Dragons 20 team with Seducer in it and with Temptress. Temptress died right away, but she gave Seducer the ability to do ally protect at 50% along with block damage on himself. And he still has all his other skills with his AoE that decreases attack of 25% and his increased defense with the block debuffs. He's a great champion, a really good champion. If you need somebody to carry, if you just want to have somebody to have fun with that you know they can do damage based off of defense, can actually do some damage, hook him up with whatever kind of artifacts you want to. And then if you want to bring Temptress in the picture to get the ally protection, it will go even better. So look for that video if you haven't seen it. All rare run, Dragons 20. It's pretty cool. So also we have Daywalker Void. These aren't as big on my list because they're only 25% ally protection. 2-turn for 3-turn cooldown, and he doesn't bring anything else to the team. You've probably seen him before. Daywalker Void could help out, but not as good. Same thing with Grumbler Dwarf, a rare dwarf. 25% ally protection, but he does give you increased defense of 30% on a 2-turn cooldown. I mean, for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, but he doesn't bring much else with his other attacks. Because, you know, neither one of those other ones are AoE, but he is HP and defense, so he could be there to save you. He could do really well, especially for a new account, for a mid-game account, if you're having problems, if you're just at that point to where you're almost making it, but somebody's getting targeted on that second wave or even first wave, he could be there to take that damage for them and mess things up a little bit. Could be, but again, these aren't as good as the other ones I mentioned already. So let's get into some unusual but different ones that might actually do a really good job. We got Elder as a barbarian. He can do the 50% ally protect on one injured ally and gets another turn on a 3-turn cooldown. So really it's on 2-turn cooldown then because he's getting an extra turn. So 2-turn cooldown, 50% ally protection on the most injured ally. So we don't get to pick this, and if nobody's injured, then I don't know what he's going to do. He's probably just going to do a skill 3. But if you can break it up, if you can get him to come in here before all the other enemies, you know, just target your one person that's weak, he will save your team. He really will. He also has a provoke on a skill 1 and can do a counter attack. So Elder, I would like to try him out. Again, you can take these people to 50, deck them out, try them out, see if it helps you progress your team. Then once you're done using them and you get better gear and everything else that you need to do, or pull some amazing champion, you can always feed them, right? Just take them to 50. Now here's another one. Add Monitor. It's an uncommon Knight's Revenant. This guy places a 50% ally protect buff on target ally for 2 turns. You get to choose 2-turn cooldown. So it's for every 2 turns, you get to put an ally protect of 50% on a champion. This guy can get you through. He's an uncommon. I'm going to take him to 50 actually now that I've looked at him. Try him out and see how the AI reacts to him. See how the AI works with him. Does he automatically put it on your lowest champion? He should right away, because nobody wants to do anything on manual, right? We want to do it all on auto. So we want to do it on auto. I want this guy to target the right champion. I want him to put it on there, and I want to be able to progress through it with him, and I think it's possible. So again, his name is Knight's Revenant. His name is Add Monitor, and the Knight's Revenant. Let's give him a try. So who else do we have? That is really it. All we have left is Gorga Rabb. Gorga Rabb is an epic undead champion, which you've seen around everywhere. You've seen him in PvP. He has a speed lead. He can do attack increase, and then he also does a resurrection anybody who's dead, and then gives them 25% HP, right? Revive any dead ally 20, then heals all allies by another 25%. So he is pretty insane. It's a long cooldown, yes, but I used him back in the day when I was first coming up, back before we even had stage 20 stuff, just when we had stage 15 things. In Minotaur 15 with all level 50s, and even though 2 or 3 of my champions would die on the waves, he would res everybody, we'd make it through, we'd get to the boss, and we'd beat it easy on auto. So this guy can carry you as well. Gorga Rabb can carry your team by making him fast, tanky, whatever you need to do, just super tanky. That way when anybody dies on your team, he will resurrect them, and you'll be good to go, beat that wave, and move on to the next one. So Gorga Rabb is a really good carry. But that's really all I've got, guys. Let me know if this information was helpful. Let me know if you've used these champions and how your success has been using them and getting through content and making it easier on your account to get further so that you can get better artifacts, better accessories, because that's what this game is all about. Yes, it's about gacha game. You get those champions whenever you can. You get the really cool champions that can carry you. But if you don't, and even after you get those champions, it's all about artifacts. It's all about your gear. You got to have good gear in this game to progress. So you want to make it as far as possible. You got to have good gear in this game to progress. You want to make it as far as possible. These champions will help you do that. Once you've done that and you get strong enough that you don't need these anymore, then you can move on to something else. But it's all about progression. So I hope this helps. Please like and subscribe to show your support, and I will see you all on the next video.